Ever walked past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs and Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation. We're back here on Wednesday nights on Turn 200. It is the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Card Championship, the fourth season of the ASRL Sports Card Championship, and the third one right here on Turn 200. Welcome, 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 welcome back. So much has changed, but a lot stays the same. It's the same crew here on Turn 200. It's Tommy Cook, and it's Matt Williamson hanging out with you. Tonight is the warm-up to Hotlanta at Road Atlanta for the opening round of the season. Only the second time that Road Atlanta has been featured on the channel, Matt. Very interesting circuit, and it's going to put these drivers through their paces straight away.
Yeah, it certainly is here, Tommy. It's very fast, but there are some tight corners as well. Passing opportunity is pretty tough around here. Also, and with the multi-class racing that the Eminent Signs and Graphics ASRL Sports Car Championship brings us, it's gonna be interesting, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and this is another interesting schedule. Maybe not as bold and brazen as last season was, but there's still the pick of the litter for some chaotic races coming up here across the next 10 weeks, including tonight.
There certainly is, Tommy. We are going to get that schedule put up here in just a second. Sorry about that. My aspect ratio got a little wonky on me there. But here it is. This is the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship for the 2024 fall season. We are going to start out here, of course, at Road Atlanta. We're going to Phillip Island after that. VIR. That is going to be an interesting one indeed. And then, of course, the famed Sebring International. After that, we're going to go across another pond to Fuji International Speedway. And then we are going to do, is this Le Mans that we are doing, Tommy?
That is our pick, and that is Le Mans. Yes, indeed.
Yes, it is.
And by our, I mean it was my turn this season.
Well, I mean, that's one that we can both agree on. So, yes, we are going to Le Mans on November 13th, and then Spa-Francorchamps on November 20th, Legacy Phoenix Raceway to the Chicago Street Course, and then we are going to end the season there at I don't even know what that course is, Tommy. I am not a road racer.
That's Misano. It's one of the very newest courses on, I almost said on Turn 200, on iRacing. So that's where we'll close out the season. Some changes here this season. We'll explain as we go, but there's a new sheriff in town in terms of the top class here for the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. The LMP2 class will be run full-time for the first time here on Turn 200 and for the first time with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. So this is how their starting grid will look here tonight. Kevin Bonomi, the reigning GT3 champion, will move up to the top class now, and he will take the pole. It is Christopher Hill now making his first ASRL start, who will start to his outside. Hunter Engrav and Josh Heggie, two veterans of ASRL by this point, multi-time feature winners. They start on row number 2. Nate Siefker's back in the lineup. He starts 5th next to Jarrell Williams. Austin Lafferty is here with the ASRL for the first time. He starts in 7th. Brian Dees in 8th. Row number 5 is the Rutherfords. Corey on the inside, Joshua on the outside. And Brady Gunter and Dan Miglin are further back in the starting lineup there for the LMP2s. Now the GT3s are the mainstay. They're the through line. It is Dave Seitz, a past GT4 champion with the series, who snags the top time for the GT4s. Kevin Burrows will line up to his outside. Matt Schlosser and Mike Hamlin, who is back for the first time in a long time, hits his first rodeo on Turn 200 tonight. He will start on row number 2. JJ Wang is here. Ian Lakeland will make his debut tonight. Calvin Levy and Alex Howland on the next row. Then James Watson. Travis Fleming is here for the first time, as well as Thomas Klein and Tyler McLennan. Nate Morris, Brian Bonneau, Blair Warner, James Lehman, and Rene Garcia. 29 drivers going to take to it here tonight. There are more GT3s than LMP2s, but the rest of the format, for the most part anyway, has stayed the same. Getting ready for our 20-minute dash, Matt.
Certainly are here, Tommy. For those that might be new to the broadcast, we do have a 2-race format for you here tonight. Tommy just alluded to the 20-minute dash, and then we are going to have the feature race after that. We're expecting about 17 laps here from this one, 32 to 34 laps for the feature. Fuel capacity is at 45% for all laps, so pit stops will not be necessary until the feature. They do get unlimited tires, one fast repair. That's a big one here. They do get a fast repair, and they do have incident limits as well. A 14X is going to get you a drive-through penalty. A 21X will get you a disqualifications. Full course cautions can be triggered by iRacing, but we are hoping it doesn't have to come to that.
It did in last season's season opener at the Glen. We had still what is, to date, this year, the biggest pileup we've had on the channel, if you could believe that. 17 cars wadded it up through the S's, and it has not gotten any bigger than that. We'll cross our fingers here tonight that the 29 drivers out on track don't have to experience that anywhere around this 2.54-mile, 12-turn circuit. It is Road Atlanta, the warm-up to Hotlanta for the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. We are underway. Bonomi leading the field into turn number 1. It is Dave Seats leading that field of GT3s. There was some contact there further back. One driver is off. That's Joshua Rutherford for the LMP2s. A couple of drivers with problems for the GT4, or the GT3s rather. Heading down the hill now.
Yeah, GT3 traffic is stacked up big time. You can see all the LMP2s pretty much single file. Now the GT3 starting it single file through the S section.
I believe Dan Miglin and Rene Garcia had a problem. Miglin has a meatball flag already. The front end is sheared off that car. As Bonomi leading him down the long stretch here at Road Atlanta. Dave Seats still leading the GT3 class inside the top 10 overall.
Alex Howland going to get side by side here with Lakeland, I believe. Oh, excuse me, this is Calvin Levy.
Howland is in there.
Oh, huge dive to the inside for the 4-1-2. Able to make it stick barely.
Big move there for Lakeland.
Now Howland going to start fighting back on the outside.
Oh. And there goes, I believe that
is Lakeland.
Yeah, that was Lakeland.
Well, you do get a fast repair, but unfortunately here in the sprint race, having to take a tow, that is pretty much going to be a race ender as far as being competitive for a spot is concerned.
Couple of opening lap accidents, none of that concerning Kevin Bonomi, who is leading the field. No qualifying time for Brody Gunter. He found his way into trouble right off the rip as well. Didn't even make it to the line before he picked up some incident points. So Gunter with a big hole to dig out of. The thing is, though, after 20 minutes, the full finishing order will get inverted for both classes. So Gunter will be looking to start in a prime spot here, assuming he doesn't pick up some positions throughout the next 17 and a half minutes.
Mike Hamlin here in second in the GT3s. Just had Joshua Rutherford, who's in an LMP2, go through. Rutherford with the problem there on the opening lap.
Hamlin trying to...
Now,
go ahead.
Sorry, now getting through on your leader of the GT3 class. That is Dave Seats. Hamlin trying to reel in Dave for the top spot here, but has Matt Schlosser not far behind.
So Mike Hamlin making his first appearance on Turn 200. He won 2 feature races when the ASRL Sports Car Championship was just GT4s in its first season. So good to have Hamlin back in the field tonight, trying to track down that GT4 Series champion Dave Seats, who leads the way. Matt Schlosser swept the final races in a GT4 last season at Daytona.
Some good battles going on here in the LMP2 class as well. This is all for second. Hunter Engrav has the spot in the blue number 49 for right now, but Christopher Hill, Josh Heggie, and Nate Siefker are all in tow, ready to pounce.
Hill is new to the ASRL group, but not new to Turn 200 or to Wednesday night's runner-up in the points championship for the Daredevil Series just a couple of weeks ago. He's won numerous races here on the channel. First time we've seen him in a sports car, though. Has good pace early.
And to both of us, that's really no surprise.
No, certainly not. Whenever we get a lull in the action here, I'd like to see what happened there on the opening lap if you've got any incidents, particularly for Dan Miglin as well, who went to the pits almost immediately with terminal damage.
I think we had a couple of blinkers there. James Lehman just got through on Alex Howland, so Lehman is trying to work his way through the GT3 field. Looks like JJ Wang and Kevin Burrows doing battle here as well. And we will get a couple of replays racked up here while we watch this battle. Unfortunately, I don't actually have really too many incident markers. I believe, have Miglin's here, though. We can definitely look at that one. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, this is... Oh, boy. Miglin tried to take a couple of the GT3 drivers 3 wide up the middle, and that just did not work out. Makes contact with both of those cars, sends one off into the grass, the other goes spinning to the inside. That was Nate Morris that spun into the inside wall. Not sure who the other was. Take a look at incident for Brody Gunter as well. And I do believe Gunter started back further in the field. So he was also trying to work through some traffic. Oh, and he gets run into, but that is, I believe that was Rene Garcia that got into Gunter there.
And speaking of Rene Garcia, he just triggered a 3-car pileup downhill. And it took out Nate Morris and Brian Bernot. So they are all headed back to the pits, or have towed back to the pits already, looking for a fast repair.
Looks like Nate Siefker may have had a problem somewhere in here as well. Was he caught up in that?
No, he ran it way wide into turn number 1 on that same lap, but it was not a part of that accident. Now Siefker has a problem. Big contact there from Thomas Klein. That was a 4X contact, and I could hear that from all the way across the track. Klein has picked up a meatball flag as a result. Big shot.
Oh, big battle going on. Josh Heggie trying to get this move made on Christopher Hill. Hill, of course, a great defensive driver, as well as can play good offense. By the way, for those wondering, the colors on the ticker, the regular black... Whoa! Wow! Both of them nearly went off. Hill and Heggie did. The regular black background boxes, that is the LMP2 class. The green background, that is the GT3.
And Christopher Hill has Hunter Engrav right in front of him as well. So this is second, third, and fourth in the top class here, all right together.
LMP2 starting to work through a little bit of traffic now here. Lap times for the LMP2s only 1 minute and 11 seconds. Oh, and I think Bonomi's had a problem. Hunter Engrav is right on the back of Kevin Bonomi now. Got caught up behind a GT3 car.
These two working as teammates, although they can't score points in the same class. That blind apex as you start to head down the hill.
Oh, and
there was
one off.
Travis Fleming hard into the barrier there. Lots of slower traffic here for the leaders. They are nose to tail for the top 4 positions. Dave Seats with a comfortable lead for the GT3s, about 3.5 seconds. But man, these LMP2s are showing out here early.
And they are bobbing and weaving around the traffic.
Compromised apex there for Christopher Hill, as Brady Gunter's made a pass on Joshua Rutherford further back to move into the top 10 overall.
Austin Lafferty and Bryant D side by side for 7th in the LMP2 class.
Whoa, we got problems. Engrav and Heggie, James Lehman as well. That is a big one.
Things have been interesting here early on, Tommy. Only
Certainly
10
have.
minutes into this season.
Yeah, that one was messy. We should take a look at that. As comfortable leads for both of your top class runners.
We're going to take a look first at the incident for Nate Siefker here earlier on. Oh, we just dipped 2 tires into the grass. It sent him off. Didn't lose a ton of time, but he lost enough, of course, was had a problem a little bit later on there as well. Trying to queue up this Rene Garcia incident while we were... this is after it's already happened. We'll go ahead and move on. Oh, they are not giving me very good things to look at today, are they? Okay, we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is James Lehman in the GT3 ahead of your leaders here. Oh my... What in the world? Oh, there was a car that had gone off that had disappeared, and James Lehman made neck-coated contact with a car that wasn't even there and just absolutely launched him. I guess there was a car there. That was very strange the first time it happened on my screen. Car spinning back onto the racetrack. Absolutely destroys Lehman and takes out Engrav in the process.
Your race leaders just had a big problem in traffic. Kevin Bonomi got hit by Christopher Hill and sent into a GT3, and that gives Hill the lead. So Bonomi now back to second after contact. It had tightened up real quick there. Man, the hits don't stop coming here all of a sudden.
No, they do not. Schlosser is actually going to... I don't know if that was a mistake or if he's just pulling off to get out of the way.
Nate Siefker now going to move up to second past Bonomi, who's got some front-end damage on his LMP2.
Siefker also has a little bit of damage, mind you, as well. So
I think just about everybody does at this point.
A lot of compromised cars early on here.
Good
Look
Lord.
at this three-way battle for second in the GT3 class. JJ Wang, Matt Schlosser, and Kevin Burrows.
7.5 seconds behind Dave Seats, who I'm sure is just hoping to bring it home at this point. But Wang, Schlosser, and Burrows duking it out here for second. Here's Kevin with a look to the right side. And for Christopher Hill, he's got a 7-second lead overall, so he jetted after the contact there.
Shout out to the folks in the chat, by the way. Don Golden, Jeff Mathis, and Joshua Rutherford was here before the race started. To Jeff's question, Dan had to start in the GT3 traffic as he did not take a qualifying lap, and he tried to take a couple of them 3 wide up the middle into a turn, and it just did not end up too well.
But to point out, he's technically not out. I said that forgetting that they had a faster pair. He's still out on the track. Almost everybody is. James Lehman and Blair Warner are not. And Hunter Engrav is not either.
Siefker and Bonomi still battling for second here in the LMP2 class. Even though Bonomi has some damage, so does Siefker. Both of them just trying to get this one home at this point in a decent spot.
5 minutes left to go. Well, there's an off track for Siefker. Are we taking the full on-board lap yet, kickbot style?
We have not. You want to do it with Kevin Bonomi when he's trying to run down Siefker here?
Sure, yeah.
Well, next time they go by, we'll go ahead and go from the start-finish.
So Bonomi trying to work his way back through on Siefker. I'm sure we'll get to it here eventually. Is Bonomi going to look out to the left but not going to take it? But the contact between Hill and Bonomi sent Kevin tumbling backwards in the standings. Oh, is now Siefker going to box himself out? Nope, they're going to split traffic 3 wide. That's Travis Fleming that got to be on that side of that.
Oh, my goodness. What a moment for Bonomi. Inside the cockpit we were. A huge wiggle of the wheel, able to hang on to it.
Woo. Back down the hill. Man. It's so picturesque, but it's tough as he bails it out wide into the sand.
He's trying to carry a lot of speed through that section and nearly put it in the wall after getting into the gravel.
The downforce compromised on this car for sure.
Oh, I mean, huge wheel movements from Bonomi right now in some spots on the racetrack. That is a full lap around Road Atlanta.
We've still got some good battles. Jarrell Williams is not too far behind Bonomi and Siefker. The battle for second in the GT3s is still raging on between Wang, Burrows, and Schlosser.
Burrows is trying to take a look around the outside of the tight left-hander. Not going to get it done. Might get crossed over by Schlosser here. Seen a lot of, I'm not sure what the off-track limits are like here, but we have seen a lot of drivers dipping tires off, trying to go at a good rate of speed through some of these corners. They're going to have to be careful in the feature race.
Yeah, I think if you're in the grass, you're getting an incident. As Rene Garcia just found out, Garcia has eclipsed the incident limits. So a disqualification in the dash, don't see that very often.
Garcia was involved in a couple of other incidents, so maybe a couple of 4Xs
certainly
was to blame for that as well. And that's only what we saw. It might have been 1 or 2 more. You never know.
Christopher Hill with a lap and a half to go 1 for 1 in the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. Dave Seats with a comfortable lead for the GT3s.
Mike Hamlin now in the mix with the Matt Schlosser as well. This would be fourth in the GT3 class that Schlosser currently holds. And ahead of them, Burrows continues to apply the pressure to J.J. Wang for second.
One lap to go for Christopher Hill.
Oh, Schlosser goes wide. Hamlin is through.
Burrows right behind JJ here for second.
Side by side. Burrows not able to get it done. He tried that the last lap as well.
A few more laps and Nate Siefker might have had something for this win. He's cut into the advantage big time. Christopher Hill with just a couple more turns to navigate. And out of turn number 12, it is the 101 of Christopher Hill taking his first victory and his first start with the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. Siefker and Bonomi will be on the podium. On the opposite end of the track, Dave Seats leading the GT3s by over 10 seconds. They are still battling behind him for positions in and out of the top 5. And Dave Seats will kick it off right with a victory. The 13th of his career with the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. This time in a GT3. J.J. Wang in second, and Kevin Burrows will round out the GT3 podium. So some drivers getting the starts that they were hoping for. Other drivers with some work to do. Headed into a 40-minute feature. We will talk to your Dash Race winners when we come back around the turn here for the ASRL Limited Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship from Road Atlanta here on Turn 200.
Ever walked past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs and Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Turn 200's coverage of the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship from Road Atlanta is presented by Eminent Signs and Graphics. From channel letters to monument signs, they handle it all. Team Watson Racing Setups, Mullet Music Productions, and CJR Graphics.
Alrighty, folks, we are back from the mid-roll break, and we are here with the winner of the GT3 class for the sprint race, and that is Mr. Dave Seats. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, it was an interesting one for sure. We didn't quite know how the LMP2s coming through on traffic was going to go, but you handled things pretty easily out in front of your class.
Yeah, it was definitely scary. I had one or two send it on me in the S's, which is very big no-no. But I saw it coming, kind of had an idea it was going to, and I kind of lifted to save us both. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. I did have a teammate get destroyed by one in the S's, so
Well,
but not a bad race.
Yeah, it was certainly crazy out there, but now you're going to have to go to the back of the field and work your way to the front. That is what is one of the exciting things about the Sports Car Championship here. I mean, how are we feeling about that, and how are you feeling about your season overall?
As far as tonight's race, coming from the back, it's just got to try to be clean. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of good passing opportunities minus the straightaway, so just got to be mindful where I try to make passes and just work up as far as I can. As far as the season, I think we got a pretty solid season. We got a good team to work together and have a little bit of fun.
Well, sounds good, partner. Congrats on the win here early. Hopefully we'll talk to you again here after the feature. Anybody you want to shout out here real quick?
I want to shout out you guys for doing the broadcast. Eminent Signs and Graphics for sponsoring the league. Also want to thank my paint guy, Jordan at Full Send Graphics. Knocked out this paint for me on the McLaren in short notice. And then a new sponsor on the series, or on the car, is Chris from Addie's Tool Sales.
All right, partner. Sounds good. Well, good luck here in the feature, and hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
Alrighty, that will lead us into our first non-Daredevil Wednesday interview with the 101 of Christopher Hill, who will go 1-for-1 with the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. What a way to kick it off here tonight. Welcome to the league. Congrats. Ruh-roh. You got a copy? Uh-oh. Well, we'll put him down in the holding room and see if we can get a word in with him here in just a couple of minutes. And then right on cue, my race control thing just went away on me. So, lovely. Now my entire computer's glitching out. Well, let's take it off my hands here for a minute. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, that was, I mean, we know that it was going to be exciting. It was really exciting because it's a different group of cars than we saw last season. We went from GT3s and GT4s to the LMP2 and the GT3, and that we were very excited about that change coming into the season, but didn't quite know how it was going to play out. And here we are. We figured it out early, and it was absolute chaos in the sprint race. Of course, I think Road Atlanta might lend itself to that a little bit as well, but. Still, the drivers are going to have some things to figure out with each other on the racetrack. Maybe a little bit more room is going to have to be given, and we have a big feature race coming up, so I think patience is going to be key.
Yeah, this is kind of a tight track. It is 2.5 miles long, which really for road courses is not super duper long. And it's very narrow, very tight, so many constricting turns, low speed turns. The speed differential between laps here, for the top lap in the LMP2s to the top lap in the GT3s was about 9.5 seconds. That is a huge difference. So, yes, this was a tricky start to this split class, LMP2s and GT3s. We're going to try Christopher Hill one more time here, maybe, if my Discord is not freezing on me, which I think it is. Good
I can give it a shot here.
Thanks so much. Well,
and we're gonna try and queue up the 101 of Christopher Hill. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Well, Matt Williamson's got the magic touch. How's it going, partner? Congrats on going 1 for 1 here tonight.
Yeah, that was a hectic race. I don't know if it was fully clean, but hey, happy to pull off a win in the heat. We'll see how it goes for the main.
I don't think it was fully clean, but the good news for you is it was not fully clean for anybody. That was a crazy one. Lots of contact, especially towards the front of the LMP2 or class. Holy cow! Lots and lots of near misses there.
Oh yeah,
what an introduction!
It seemed like every time I came around a corner, somebody was flying through the air. I was like, "Are we in a demolition derby, or actually, or what?" But yeah, I wish I could go back and look at the replay with Bonomi there, because but for some reason my replay is not working. So I'll have to catch it later. But thought there was a little bit of an opening, and I don't know, maybe it wasn't there. But so hopefully he's not too hurt about that if it was on me. But yeah, at least we get to race in the main and see how it goes. So,
well, you get twice as long here for the feature. You'll have to start at the back of the class grid. I don't know, what's the strategy other than just trying to survive?
It's going to be interesting because I think there's a bunch of moving targets here. I mean, I'm not talking about people, but as far as like, you've got fuel. Probably it's kind of right on the border, on top of having to come from the back, and a lot of GT3 traffic. I mean, I think the survival aspect is going to play in a lot. So I don't know. I'm just going to try to be there at the end, and hopefully we make it through a lot of people at the right times and survive the chaos, and we'll see how it goes. So.
Well, great way to kick it off here. Congrats on a dash win. Do you have anybody you want to thank or shout out here before we let you go?
Just the usual. Thanks to TWR, Precision Racing Construction. And let's go see if we can't talk to you guys a little later.
Sounds like a plan, partner. Good luck. We'll hopefully talk to you again later.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
And if you're curious, we interviewed the winners from each of the dash classes because the dash and the feature pay equal points. So that is why we give them a little airtime. We interview the top 2 of each class after the race as well. If we had the time to. We definitely would in the middle as well. But 10 minutes for the warm-up is already, I think, if you're a driver, long enough. You're feeling restless by this point with only 20 seconds to go, knowing that the end of your night could lay around even the first turn here in this feature. So, although they do have a fast repair, some drivers have already used a fast repair in their last race and are probably feeling pretty frustrated by this point. So, we'll see what lies in store. As we re-rack the grid with a full field invert, the LMP2s will drive back through the field to take up the head of the grid, but everything outside of that is inverted, and it will look like this once they get onto the starting grid here momentarily. Starting up front for the LMP2s, it will be Hunter and Grav, who did not come back out onto the track after his contact there with slow traffic in the downhill. So he will lead the field to the green. Dan Maitland will start to his outside. Joshua Rutherford and Josh Hagee on row number 2. Then Corey Rutherford and Brody Gunter on the 3rd row. Austin Lafferty and Brian Deese on row 4. Jarrell Williams, Kevin Bonomi, Nate Siefker, and Christopher Hill, the rest of the the LMP2 starting lineup. For the GT3s, then, it will be Blair Warner and James Lehman. After their contact, I'm sure they're going to be thrilled to be side by side with another into turn number 1. Rene Garcia, Thomas Klein on row 2. It's Nate Morris and Brian Bonneau on row 3. Travis Lemming and Tyler McLennan on row number 4. And that was row number 5, rather. Ian Lakeland, James Watson, Calvin Levy, Alex Helen, Matt Schlosser, Mike Camlin, Kevin Burrows, JJ Wang, and Dave Seats, the rest of your GT3 starting lineup. Matt Williamson, what do we got in terms of some weather conditions and anything else that we need to keep our eyes on other than the doubling of the time at the top of the board here?
Yeah, we'll take a look at the weather here first. A little bit warmer than it just was in that sprint race. So that is going to be something that might help the drivers early on, but by the end of it, the drivers may want it to be a little bit cooler when they start to wear their tires out. We got a 40-minute feature race coming up here for you. It should be roughly 32 to 34 laps of competition. Again, they do have one fast repair. They are going to have to come in for a pit stop. Christopher Hill seemed to think that the fuel was going to be close to being able to maybe push it pretty close to the end. We are thinking that they might be able to push it to, I don't know, maybe lap 23, 24, and we're expecting them to be able to do over 30 laps. But you can push it pretty far here on fuel if you want to. The same disqualification incident limit applies. It's a 14x drive-through penalty, a 21x disqualification. We saw at least one driver get disqualified, maybe a couple there in the sprint, and it was half the distance of this one. So drivers are definitely going to have to be careful to stay away from that limit. And again, full course cautions can be triggered. Probably doubtful here, but I mean, we saw a lot happen there in the dash race. I don't think it's completely out of the question.
No, I don't think so. Certainly not. Two drivers are looking like they're going to elect to start from the pits. That'll be Blair Warner and James Lehman. So they were scheduled to be on the GT3 front row. So that front row should now be Rene Garcia and Thomas Klein.
Apparently
the overall... Go ahead.
Apparently some paints are not loading properly here. We're going to try and re-download some paints and see if we can get them to do. This happened for me the other day as well, where it only loaded about half of them. So we'll see if we can get them all this time.
"40 more minutes at Road Atlanta to see who will take the first feature race of the season. After Dave Seitz and Christopher Hill take the opening dash rounds. Ren Grav and Dan Miglin on the front row. The feature's underway.
Boy, we are fanned out big time already.
Nearly 3 wide there coming up the hill. Blind right hand flick of the wrist puts you into the downhill. Fairly clean to this point. A couple of 1Xs and off tracks. Now contact and a crash. 2 spinning for the GT3s. Bonneau, Burrows, and Lakeland all head around.
Oh, and they're still hitting each other, trying to get turned around.
Engrav leading overall. Garcia leading the GT3s.
Groups of drivers starting to form in the LMP2 class. Here goes Josh Heggie to get through on Dan Miglin. That was awful close. Heggie then with a bit of an off track there. And Brody Gunter is going to get both of them after the mistake.
Wow, Gunter out to second. Heggie went off track to take the spot and then ran it wide onto the other side of the tarmac. So Miglin will lose 2 spots. Heggie back 1. Gunter up 2.
Good battle here in the GT3s. Travis Fleming, Thomas Klein. Klein is off the racetrack.
Way off track.
Klein is going to drop down the leaderboard quite significantly here. We are stacked up for second in the GT3 class here. Look at Schlosser trying to set up a move Thought he was trying to go to the inside here. Oh, wow. Close to contact.
Oh, Watson and McLennan did make some contact there, but they're both headed forward still. Corey Rutherford had a problem in the LMP2 class. He's back on the road. Battling for 6th overall. Kevin Bonomi working his way through the field on Brian Deese. But Nate Siefker looking to get through on both of them. Christopher Hill made the move on Dan Miglin to get to 4th. So your dash winners worked through the field quite nicely to this point. And Grav and Garcia leading their respective classes. As, Nate Morris goes spinning. Matt Schlosser with an off track there as well. I think they made some contact.
That is the second race in a row. Big incident for Morris early on in this one.
I don't think he got into the barriers quite as hard this time around, but still contact sends him the wrong direction.
Man, GT3 cars are getting scrappy here.
Certainly are.
Well, paints definitely weren't loaded because this beautiful number 2 for Alex Howland needed to be shown. It now is being able to. And McLennan is falling through the field a little bit more now. Looked like maybe a touch of contact there into the left-hander. And he has lost 4 spots this lap.
$69 total incident points through the field to this point on lap number 4. I'm not making that up. There's number 70 as Ian Lakeland will go off the road.
Dave Seats starting to reel in Calvin Levy here to get to 3rd in class already. This is going to set Seats up for a great remaining 35 minutes. He's done it all just in 5 of them.
And Grav with the purple lap up front. He goes sub 111. First driver to do it in the feature thus far. He's pulling away from Brody Gunter in 2nd. Seifker through on Miglin there. Oh, contact between Brody Gunter and Blair Warner, and Warner will nose it into the tire barrier. Still very much on the track and on the racing surface here. So as Warner was getting lapped, he makes some contact with Gunter. Or maybe vice versa.
We can take a look. Gunter coming through. Oh, yeah, Warner gets loose and nearly spins it to the left, makes the contact with Gunter there.
So Engrav was already pulling away before that, but now has nearly a 5-second lead on Gunter. There's problems again for Nate Morris. He is off the road and stopped, trying to get this car back in motion. Looks like down the main straight here.
Oh, Christopher Hill trying to make a move on Heggie into the S's and makes it stick. That was daring. On the downhill part of the S section of the course. That's a move.
Heggie and Bonomi are right here to answer, as there was maybe a bit of contact between Heggie and Hill.
I think Seats did get through on Levy for a moment. Seats now behind Levy again. Not quite sure what happened there. Well, it looks like James Lehman has had a problem as well.
Yeah, he is done for the night. Boy, they are nose to tail for third, fourth, and fifth here.
I know you can't bump draft in these cars, but that's what it looked like.
It may as well be. Oh, Heggie out wide. Here's Bonomi looking to get through. You've not missed anything for the lead for the GT3s. It's Rene Garcia by 3 seconds over Travis Fleming. And Ingrave with a 5-second lead on Gunter.
Seats still working on Levy here. Gonna take the opportunity. Side by side. Down the hill. Yeah, that just, on the outside, that just does not work out. And now Seats is in jeopardy of being passed by Alex Howland.
Yeah, he sent it too deep. Ooh.
Whoa, wow.
That was close.
Seats trying to make a bold move. Ends up paying the price, but now Burrows has gotten through on Howland. Unbelievable. GT3s have really been putting it on for us here.
No kidding.
So have the LMP2s. I don't want to take anything away from them. That's been awesome as well.
Well, by the way, we're up over 700 subscribers. Thanks to everybody for chipping in. Really appreciate it. Everybody's having a good time here tonight.
Oh, boy.
Woo! Ingrave working through the front of the GT3 field, or pretty close to it anyway. That 5-second lead is down to 3.5 as he's working through traffic.
I mean, these are fast drivers in the GT3 class that he's trying to work through, so they're not required by any means to just pull over, but sometimes it's just a lot easier if you do. Of course, depending on where Engrave catches you on the racetrack, sometimes that is impossible.
Almost the entirety of this track is made up by one straightaway. All but 3 cars were just on the backstretch at one time on this lap.
So J.J. Wang just passed Matt Schlosser, and J.J. Wang does not have a front end of this car. I don't know if Schlosser has a bunch of damage because he's pretty far in the field right now, or what is going on here.
Schlosser's made some contact as Burrows and Hill have come together, and Kevin Burrows has hit the barrier hard. That was Burrows into GT3, and Christopher Hill in the LMP2. And Hill nearly making more contact as he gets through on Dave's seats.
Siefker and Heggie getting after it here as well. Heggie stuck behind a GT3. That is Wang.
Oh, crash. Corey Rutherford and Thomas Klein. Those cars are toast.
Mystery Machine has certainly seen better days.
Yes, it has. They'll tow back to the pits to take their fast repair. A lot happened there on this lap. 2 of your front runners in each of the classes, Hill and Burrows, coming together.
And Heggie and Siefker still getting after it here.
This is stressful to watch.
Certainly.
Whoa!
Oh!
That was Calvin Levy trying to pull out a line to make a pass. I mean, Siefker was there, and he went right into the side of him.
He's going to pull it out, get it back on the racetrack, but has certainly lost a ton of time.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, they were like side by side, too deep there through the S's section almost. That is not the place you want to be, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. Just when you think you have no replays, all of a sudden you've got 4. And
I can
that's
tell you this.
one lap.
Nate Siefker has been all over the South here this week, and he's taking some punishment.
Yeah, no kidding. All he missed was racing at Talladega last night.
Good battle here. Further back in the LMP2 class, this is Terrell Williams and Austin Lafferty. Oh, some contact between those two, and Lafferty is going to get the worst of it. Where do I even begin?
I'm not sure. I'll keep an eye on this battle for the GT3 lead. All of a sudden, it's within a second and a half. Dave Seitz is catching Rene Garcia pretty quickly.
Here is that Burrows incident. Actually, this is the one with, I believe, Christopher Hill. As Hill goes out to the right, and it's almost as if Burrows was trying to cover him off, but obviously two different cars. That was not going to work out. And we're going to go back live with the GT3 battle here. I don't know how JJ Wang is making up positions with this car. I just don't.
It doesn't make much sense, does it?
I mean, look at this thing. He's found an exploit. Apparently, you just have to ram the front of the car into the wall before the race starts, and you'll be fast.
Oh, here we go for the GT3 lead. Big slip up from Rene Garcia, and Dave Seitz is going to slip right on through. Garcia lucky he's even driving that car. Was pushing it out of the S's, lost the back end, straightened it out, but by that time, Seitz was up and through. So now we'll see if Garcia can answer. But Seitz just ran a personal best last time by.
Behind those two, just a half a straightaway away, Wang, Fleming, Howland, and Schlosser do battle. Whoa! Almost huge contact there. Fleming is going, oh my goodness, we're three wide. Fleming gets turned.
Fleming's around with help. I don't know if really help is the right word, but contact with JJ Wang. Goodness gracious. And that will bring Travis Fleming down pit road.
I mean, they were three wide there because Howland got himself into the mix there as well.
Leads back to over 5 seconds for Hunter Engrav up front. Gunter is still giving chase in second. Dave Seitz now the leader for the GT3s with Rene Garcia behind. Oh, problems for Garcia. He has gone for a spin. And he is going to drop through the top 5 now. And problems for Hunter Engrav. He is off the track, and he's got a meatball flag. Your race leader.
Wow, he towed to the pits very quickly.
Oh my goodness, what happened to Engrav?
We have a lot to get to here.
Good God. Second in GT3s and the overall leader out within 20 seconds of one another. Again, they have fast repairs they could take, or Engrav does, but I mean that's taking them out of contention for the win.
Yeah, if you have to tow to the pits, I mean that is a long ride back to pit road. All right, well, let's take a look at the pass for the lead in the GT3 class. You see Garcia with the problem. Seitz goes right through. And then this is your incident for Garcia. And this is in the same part of the racetrack. Oh, actually gets two tires in the grass this time. And goes for a little half spin. And where does it go wrong for Hunter Engrav here? Let's take a look. Oh, it's already happened there, and he makes contact. Oh, boy. with the GT3 car, trying to... GT3 car acted like they were going to stay to the inside, ends up pulling to the outside after Engrav already committed to trying to make the pass on the outside. Ay, ay, ay.
The number one rule in the drivers' meeting earlier today, or earlier tonight rather, was you don't have to yield to faster traffic, but be above all else, be sure you hold your line. So now it's Brody Gunter leading by 3 seconds over Christopher Hill. And Dave Seats with a very comfortable 9-second lead back to JJ Wang. About as comfortable as you can be, though, as this track will chew you up and spit you out.
Siefker and Heggie was basically pushing Siefker up the hill there.
Oh, problems. Brian Deese's, or rather, that was Dan Miglin, just dumped Jarrell Williams for 7th, or rather for 6th. I think Miglin just sent it in a bit too hot there.
Let's see if we can take a look back at that one as well. No, that is not it. This is going to be it. Yes. Yes, indeed. Now Miglin going to try and get back around Brian Deese, who got through after Miglin ended up making a mistake in the first corner after that contact with Jarrell.
Lap 17, some pit stops here. Kevin Minomi in for the LMP2s, so is Nate Siefker. Matt Schlosser in for the GT3s.
And we're now at the halfway point in the race, so we are probably going to start seeing some more, as here comes Dan Miglin as well.
Just assume that everybody's got some kind of damage. Question is, will they need a fast repair or not? For everybody except for probably JJ Wang, I would say that answer is no, if you've still got it available. Although JJ's making decent time, he's pacing within about half a second of Dave's seats every lap without the front of his car, Martin Truex style.
Earl Williams has caught Brian Deese in a hurry and is going to go right around the outside.
Top two in, Gunter and Hill. Josh Hagee just made a 3-wide pass down the long straight into the grass to get around side-by-side GT3 traffic, and he will bring it straight down pit road. He'll lock it up. Trying to push it behind the GT3s. That's going to cost him a ton of time.
Incredibly lucky he did not make any contact with one of the cars or the tire barrier there, but is going to lose a lot of time.
Yes, indeed.
And here come more. I'm not sure Jarrell made it down to speed in time. That was awfully close.
I am not seeing a black flag. I've yet to see one all day, actually. For pit road speed, anyway. Austin Lafferty also in, right behind Jarrell. Bonomi with an early pit stop will cycle ahead of Siefker. That will put him back out to third. But he's got about 6 seconds to catch up to Christopher Hill. Hill is making up time here on Brody Gunter.
Well, Tommy, most of our pit stops are over. What do you say we take a short ad break here?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Ever walked past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs and Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
17.5 minutes left to go. Brody Gunter with now just a 1.5 second lead over Christopher Hill for the overall lead for the LMP2s. Dave Seats with a comfortable 10-second lead back to JJ Wang for the GT3s. So Gunter trying to prevent a double-class sweep after he got off to a rocky start for his dash race and took advantage of the invert to find himself to the front of the field. Well, anytime we start talking about anything is right when the chaos starts to happen, and that's exactly what's happened to Jarrell Williams as he barrels it off the track, headed down into the S section. But pit stops are out of the way. Everybody kind of knows where they stand and what they need to accomplish here in the next 16.5 minutes. That could be a good thing or a bad thing.
I will say, it looks like Dave Seats has not been down pit road yet, at least not according to my tracker.
And neither had JJ Wang or Rene Garcia, and they are now down pit road.
So Dave only 24 seconds in front of James Watson. I don't think these cars fuel incredibly quickly.
But has Watson come down pit road yet?
Watson has not. You are correct. That is my mistake.
Okay. So we did have some pit stops left to go, but for the LMP2s, it's all done.
And no battles on the racetrack really within at least a second or a second and a half of each other now. I mean, what was everybody all together all at once has turned into nobody together all at once, but I'm sure it's going to come back together here before too long.
Dave Seats with a 50-second lead, and he is coming down pit road right now. I believe James Watson says he is coming down this time as well, so here he comes. So the top two for the GT3s should polish off this green flag pit cycle here. We'll see what the damage is for JJ Wang. Should be about 10.5 seconds. But he also did slide through his box when he was coming to a stop. So that'll cost him some time.
Here comes JJ and Schlosser. They are going to get past James Watson. Dave Seats already into the S section. It is going to be roughly 14 seconds from Seats back to second place.
So that is a time gain for your dash winner for the class. Looking to put the first sweep on the board for the season. Christopher Hill would like to do the same, but they are flip-flopping times back and forth, both he and Brody Gunter at the front of the field. Gap is hanging right around 1.8 seconds as it stands, with 14 minutes left to go. Still plenty of time for things to go awry for really anybody that's still out on the track.
Watson comes back out on the racetrack, immediately dumped into a battle with Calvin Levy here. Watson trying to get tires up to temperature.
Problems for Brian Bonnell. He is just crashed. Doesn't look like he crashed particularly hard, but he's in an awkward spot here.
Jarrell Williams starting to run down. Dan Miglin here as well.
These two made contact last time they were together. I'm sure Jarrell has not forgotten that. Oh boy! Well, that one.
I mean,
it's another one.
Miglin did get stacked in behind the GT3 car, so I don't know if that was completely intentional. I don't think it was at all, to be honest. But
no,
I think the GT3 car really stacked up faster than Williams was expecting.
Yeah, it was jarring, that's for sure.
And I think it hurt Williams probably more than it did Miglin. Just behind the track from those two is a battle for a for a podium spot in the GT3 class. Mike Hamlin running down Matt Schlosser here.
Christopher Hill just had to thread the needle on a GT3 car. He is now within half a second of Brody Gunter, so it is going on for the lead.
Yeah, they're kind of yo-yoing times here as they're trying to work through traffic. Hill about a second behind Gunter now. But, I mean, he has certainly made up time. It was a 1.7 second gap just a few laps ago.
So Gunter with some space now up to the next round of GT3 traffic. JJ Wing was making up some time on Dave's seats, but not anymore. It's back to a 15-second lead for seats in the GT3s. Still have Hamlin and Schlosser within half a second to one another for a spot on the podium. Talk to the top two drivers from each class after the feature race is through.
Whoa! Oh. Contact for your leader!
Gunter sends Rene Garcia into the barriers hard there, and that will send Christopher Hill through. And the problems continue for Brody Gunter. That has put him over the drive-through penalty limit. Was just going to bring up how he was at 11x, and that gives him 4 more. He'll have to make a trip down pit road. Nobody wants to be in first in this feature race, apparently. So hard to judge speeds when you're that much faster and you're going over some of these blind apex turns. And that one reaches out and grabs Gunter and Garcia.
I mean, that's the exact same section of the track that the incident between Williams and Miglin and a lapped car happened as well. I mean, that's just a difficult section to get through traffic. We had a decent look at it from the point of view of Christopher Hill, but let's try and see it from the top. Gunter coming into the picture very quickly. It was 2 GT3 cars stacked up here. Oh, man. And Garcia was going to try and go to the outside, I guess, to make a move. I'm not quite sure, but it put those GT3 cars too wide, and Gunter was already committed to the outside because he thought that they were going to stay in line. That was not the case.
It's something these GT3 drivers are going to have to get used to here as the season rolls along.
I mean, truth be told, a lot of these GT3 drivers are used to being the fastest cars on the racetrack. As it used to be a GT3, GT4 class. not the case anymore.
Rene Garcia's had another problem and is towed back to the pits. So now it's Christopher Hill leading by 2 seconds over Kevin Bonomi, but Bonomi last time by was pretty quick. We'll see if that is something that, a pace that he can uphold. And now Bonomi, just as I say that, is crashed. I think into Mike Hamlin. So scratch that. Good Lord.
Wow, it was indeed Mike Hamlin. Alex Howland has gotten through on Hamlin for the 4th position in the GT3 class.
Bonomi's only slipped back to 3rd overall as Seifker's through to 2nd.
Hamlin right back on his horse is going to try and catch up and get through Alex Howland here as Seifker goes by.
Drive-through penalty for Jarrell Williams for exceeding the pass-through limit. Josh Hagee, Brody Gunter battling for 4th. Hagee making the move on Gunter after he's come down to serve his penalty.
And Gunter, I'm sure, with plenty of damage as well.
Hagee's flirting with that limit as well. He's 1 contact away as James Watson has exceeded the pass-through limit. Now he will have to pit from 7th in the GT3 class.
Hamlin is going to try and use an LMP2 as a pick here. And that is Kevin Bonomi. Bonomi had to spend a lot of time behind Alex Howland there. Oh! Trouble for Hagee, and that will send him over the limit, I'm sure.
Believe it or not, only an off-track for Hagee. No contact registered. He got lucky.
There was certainly contact, just not registered, I guess.
So he will now drop back to 5th.
Hamlin side by side with Howland, but will be on the outside here into the left-hander, but edges out in front. Some contact between the two, and LMP2 comes through. My goodness.
Good Lord. Howland and Hamlin. I think Howland was trying to stay as far to the right as possible because he saw the LMP2 coming up. But he sent it a bit too deep into the corner, gave Hamlin a big shot there. That got your race leader checked up as well.
Only 5 minutes left, drivers. Let's bring it home.
Well, your leaders are about to converge on the track. Seats the GT3 leader and Christopher Hill the overall. They might be side by side into the big braking zone here, and indeed they are. But they survive it. Wouldn't that be a cruel twist of fate? Both looking for the sweeps to open the season. They're 4 minutes away from it. Both have pretty comfortable leads right now. 13.5 seconds for Hill over Seifker. 18 seconds for Seats over Wang.
Lots of traffic stacked up here. Williams and Lafferty battling for the 8th position in the LMP2 class. That was McLennan and Garcia battling in the GT3s. Garcia now up to 9th after a couple of issues here in this one. Whoa! 58 is going to get turned. Williams makes contact with Lafferty. Not a lot of damage for Lafferty, but I'm sure he's not going to be happy about that one. As
Certainly
leader
not.
Christopher Hill goes through.
3 minutes to go. Josh Hagee now will exceed the pass-through limit from 5th.
We went from one Wednesday league where we expect all the incidents to happen, and we roll into this Wednesday league where we didn't think that would necessarily happen, but here we are. Hill contact with a lapped car, a GT3.
Yeah, it's McLennan.
Seemingly a lot of pink GT3 cars on the racetrack.
Dan Miglin and Josh Hagee are right now together after Hagee had to make his pit stop. Trailing some GT3 traffic. Well, Miglin way off the track.
Hagee and Miglin split Howland there.
Whoa!
Oh, Hagee's off!
And that was McLennan going
it hits
slow.
the tire barrier.
McLennan going slow there. And it was not on the radar of Josh Hagee, who will tow back to the pits. Ay, ay, ay.
Now there's a battle with Schlosser and Wang to get an interview at the end of this one. This is for second in the GT3 class.
Christopher Hill across the line, white flag.
This is Joshua Rutherford trying to get through on Schlosser and Wang. Has taken his time. And Schlosser going to try and use him for a draft down the straight.
Yeah, why not?
But JJ Wang is wise to the business.
As he should be. White flag for Dave Seats.
All of a sudden, a battle brewing for second in the LMP2 class here as well.
Bonomi on the march forward. They're all chasing Christopher Hill, who is into the final 3 turns of the circuit. And Christopher Hill, in a wild race here tonight, will take the dash and take the feature. It's 101 to P1. First sweep of the season goes to Hill. Seats hopes to bring home another one here in a second. As we watch battles for second in both classes, Siefker will hang on to P2. Kevin Bonomi will take third. And through the final complex of turns, here comes Dave Seats. It's a sweep for Hill and a sweep for Seats here at the warm-up to Hotlanta. Wang and Schlosser.
Oh, dear. Miglin right in the middle of it.
JJ Wang will hang on to second. Woo! How hot is Hotlanta?
I was just about to say, I'm feeling pretty hot here. And it's fitting. My.
I think there are going to be some unhappy drivers after tonight. But there's a lot of learning going on out on the track. That's for sure.
There certainly is, but I can feel this Discord chat about to explode.
I think so. No burnouts for Christopher Hill. He comes straight to the attention of his crew after 40 minutes of twists and turns here at Road Atlanta. Hill will take a sweep. Dave Seats will take a sweep as well. Let's take a look at the full finishing rundown here. We'll start with your LMP2s. Hill with the win and Nate Siefker in second. We'll talk to these two gentlemen here in a minute. It's Kevin Bonomi, Brody Gunter, Dan Miglin in the top 5, Brian Deese in 6th, Jarrell Williams in 7th, Austin Lafferty, Joshua Rutherford, Josh Heggie, the top 10. Corey Rutherford will finish in 11th, and Hunter Engraff, the only DNF in class, I guess technically outside of Josh Heggie for the LMP2s. And now it's a sweep for Dave Seats, who will take the win over JJ Wang. We'll talk to these two gentlemen here in just a second. It is Matt Schlosser in 3rd, Alex Allen, Mike Hamlin in the top 5. Wild night for Mike Hamlin. Travis Fleming in 6th, James Watson, Calvin Levy, Renee Garcia, the rest of the top 10, Tyler McLennan, and Kevin Burrows, Brian Bonnell, and Thomas Klein, the drivers that will finish. DNFs for Blair Warner, Nate Morris, James Lehman, and Ian Lakeland. So that is your finishing order here for the GT3s. So now we'll go in search of your runner-up finisher in the GT3 class. I'm sure he's having a Team Watson debrief right now, but we're going to steal him anyway. And hot swap JJ Wang into a booth 200. Runner-up here tonight in the GT3 division. It got a little rowdy there the last couple of laps, but you'll bring home a solid silver here in the feature. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. It's been a wild one. I wasn't actually too sure. I thought my race was done after I lost my entire nose, but it kind of turned out that all that was just extra weight and didn't do anything. So kind of odd, honestly.
Yeah, Matt was the first one to point that out, and you seem to go faster without it. I mean, truly, did that change the handling of the car at all?
Yeah, I had something with my steering, and the car did feel different, and that's for a while in that first stint. I thought my race was kind of done, and I was just running to survive. But then I started picking up pace. The tires kind of got warmed up, kind of got into optimal temperature, and I started picking people off, and I was honestly really surprised by that. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have had my crew repair that nose. Maybe I should have just kept it off, but I didn't want to take that risk. But yeah, I'm happy I kind of held on for kind of P2. Matt Schlosser definitely kind of kept me honest. That kind of entire back half. I don't know how Dave Seats does it. He's just so good in the second half of the track, and I feel like the McLaren actually kind of struggles. But I'll take it. I wasn't, especially after kind of the first lap. I didn't think we'd be 3 wide going into that. I know I saw that there was cars on the outside, but I figured people would go single file through turns 3. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain really. We need to see if we can find something for Dave. He's definitely wicked fast. So my fastest times weren't that much off him, but he definitely just has legs on me during the race.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here in the feature race. I mean, the sprint race didn't go quite as you would have hoped, but you got yourself a little track position with the starting spot here in the feature, and you were able to run with it. I did wonder, after they put the nose back on, did it take a little bit for you to figure out how to drive with a full car again? I mean, did you have to kind of struggle through some corners to figure out how it drives again?
Honestly, I practiced obviously with a clean car, so it just kind of came back to me. I think what was interesting was the tires just started falling off a cliff in kind of the final probably 5 minutes. That's kind of something I feel like we'd probably have to look at. I don't know if the extra weight did anything. Maybe, I don't know. It just felt like weight for some reason. But yeah, the car. I mean, the balance felt more comfortable, but I didn't think I was necessarily going that much faster. So it was kind of odd. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to take it back to the shop and take a look at it.
Great job here tonight. Great to get to talk to you here in the feature. Who do you want to shout out?
Yeah, big shout out to Team Watson Racing. Just that whole crew. It's just been just great teamwork today. The LMP drivers were helping out the GT drivers. The GT drivers are communicating with LMP2 drivers. And big shout out to, I think this is the first time I'm actually directly teammates with Chris Hill. I've always been indirect teammates with him. But I'm just happy to just kind of, bring home PRI on the car, just kind of with him, and I think we got a really good points today. I'm not sure who Dave's teammate is, but it kind of feels like we probably scored as maximum as you can possibly hope for.
I was gonna say we're gonna talk to 3 Team Watson drivers here at the end of the night. So, congrats on the P2 here tonight. We'll talk to you again here soon.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks.
All right, we'll bring in your GT3 sweeper. Get the broom out for Dave's seats here tonight. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, that was another case of working your way through the field here and just storming away. I mean, talk me through the chaos of picking our way through this field here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, that was definitely some aggression this evening. Hopefully, it's just new series and people are feeling out what people can race against. But man, there was elbows, there was sends. It was magic. It was something else.
I'm sure it felt like floating on a magic carpet that you didn't have to really race anybody after the 10 or 15 minute mark of this race is whenever you got past Renee for the lead there. You were just able to jet away from all of it after that.
That's about it. I mean, I may not have had other GT3 cars to worry about, but I mean, their second to last lap, I had an LMP send it as I was already committed to the final corner, and I had to open up so we both didn't die. Like, there needs to be a little bit of patience. I know you're faster, but if we're already turning in, for the love of God, slow up a second.
Matt, what you got for your race winner?
Yeah, congrats on another great run here. You get back to the booth with another P1. So you are the first sweeper of the season. Actually, there's 2 sweeps in the first season or in the first week. So, but good stuff for you here tonight. I mean, is this just a track you feel really comfortable with, or is this just scratching the surface for you? And you got a lot more for these folks in the GT3 class.
I mean, this is a pretty decent track. I've done a lot of laps around here. Like I said, I think this is first season growing pains, or first series growing pains. We're going to have a lot more people fighting up in the front. I mean, I definitely know my teammate Kevin will be up there with me, and Mike. They both got murdered in that lap 1 schmozzle. So, we'll definitely have some good battles throughout the year.
Well, shout-outs for you once again here from the top step.
Again, you guys in the booth, you do a good broadcast for us. Corey and all the guys from ASRL for giving us a place to race. The title sponsor, Eminent Signs and Graphics, for giving us support to let us race. And then my paint guy, Jordan, can't say enough about him. Full Send Graphics, he does amazing paints for us. And then Chris at Ease Tool Sales, and then all my teammates here racing. I got a couple new guys and a couple veterans, and just out here having fun and pushing each other.
Well, great job on the sweep here tonight. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week, Phil Byland.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, guys.
So we'll move on to your LMP2 top 2 now, and with the second place finish here tonight, it's Nate Siefker, who will get it done here. 13 seconds behind Christopher Hill. You pick up a couple of spots there through attrition, but I mean, you basically had your elbows out all race trying to fight for any position that you could, and we're making it really interesting for us up there, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was a scary race. I mean, I'm not really in tune with multi-class, but I think I know what I'm doing most times. It was interesting. A lot of close calls with some people tonight. Thankful, we brushed out, got away with a lot of it though. So thankfully, so we'll take those as we got them. And yeah, the pace wasn't bad. We just, I don't think we had top 3 pace. We just managed to keep the car completely clean and didn't wreck it. So we'll take that.
You had Bonomi closing in there rapidly towards the end of the race. Were you worried at all there?
I was more worried about the fact I had 13 incidents and 14 gets you a drive-through. Yeah. I was running on 12 or 13 incidents for about half the race. So
Oof.
I was kind of more focused on that than the gap. I really didn't realize. I thought he was about 5-6 seconds back, and then I realized about 2 to 3 to go, he was a lot closer than I thought. So I had to pick it up a little bit. I think if I kept my same pace, he would have caught me, but I had to pick it up the last 2 laps to make sure. But yeah, he was definitely catching. I think a lot of it was tonight was just with the racing. It's just it's a great track for multi-class racing. It's just the S's in Sector 1 was very difficult. A lot of people at GT3, I think, they'll get accustomed to it. But you had some people that break in the middle of, there was one point, I need to go back and look, but it like lap, the first time we went through, there's a car spun out on the exit of the T7, I think it is. It's the up-hander that's blind. And he was wide enough, and I was going wide enough. I had to go between him and the wall, and I don't know how I didn't die. That would be probably something I need to go back and find. But otherwise, yeah, it was crazy. It was fun, though. I had a blast, and I look forward to doing this the rest of the season.
Matt, what you got?
Congrats on a great run here in the feature, Nate. Good to get you up here in the booth, as always. I mean, just, I don't even know how you explain this. I mean, Tommy and I just couldn't believe some of the things that were happening on the racetrack, and I feel like, I mean, some of that might get, kind of cleaned up here in the weeks to come, but, I mean, as a driver out there in the LMP2, I mean, it's got to be a little concerning and maybe a little bit hard to focus on your lap times when you got so much going on around you.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's going on. So you're trying, yes, to focus on something, but it kind of, yeah, it's very difficult to focus on lap times with all the traffic when you're in the middle of traffic. It is very difficult. So a lot of it's just figuring out, how getting used to the car too. It's pretty difficult with that. So learning every day with that. By the way, I just went back to go find it. It's lap 5 of the second race. I think you'll find that if you got a little bit of time, you'll find that you'll be impressed with how little margin there is in that. So, but yeah, I'll take it. I should have probably been dead lap 5 of that with watching back. I'm surprised I even survived. That's definitely a Leroy Jenkins moment, but we'll take it.
Take those when you could get them. Absolutely. Shout outs for you here tonight.
I want to thank you guys for being in the booth calling these races. I want to thank all the admin staff here. Here they did a great job with the league. Thank the TWR boys. Had a good run. It seems like Chris getting the win tonight, so pretty kudos to him for getting both the feature win and the sprint. Victor for the paint job. I don't think it loaded the first race. I watched back a little bit of the sprint, and it wasn't loading. So hopefully it loaded in the feature. But he did a fantastic job. It's very bright and visible. You will not miss it. So hopefully it loaded the second race, and if not, hopefully it's there next week.
We got it in there for you.
Perfect. Awesome. Good deal.
A sweep of the wins for Christopher Hill here tonight, but Nate Siefker will take a sweep of the seconds as well. Great job here tonight. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Speaking of the brooms, bust them back out. Christopher Hill sweeps the LMP2 victories here tonight at Road Atlanta. Congrats on taking another one.
Thanks. Yeah, that was interesting to say the least.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just, I mean, like, even from the start of the race, it was kind of chaotic. I definitely took some risks early on that, thank God, they paid off. But it was fun afterwards, though, trying to chase Brody down and Hunter down. And unfortunately, Hunter got killed somewhere along the way, but it was fun up till then. So. I
was going to say, Hunter was doing a good job up front, got tangled with live traffic, but you were reeling in Brody Gunter for sure. They're on pace, especially after the pit stops. That gap closed up quick before Brody had his own problems there. How did you think the race was going to play out with Hunter at the front of the field, though?
I thought for sure he was going to win it, just because I knew he had pace, and then just if nothing else, like the getting through the field. If even if I had the same or even slightly faster pace, I knew I was going to have so much time lost that I didn't think I was going to chase him down. And honestly, I don't think if he had survived without getting murdered somewhere along the way, I think they probably would have had a good shot at it, if not pulled it off, unless I somehow found some more speed, because I didn't have much more than I was showing there. So, yeah, I think it ended up unfortunate for him that happened, but hey, I'll take it.
I think the possibility for death was high for anybody that dared to step onto the track here tonight. Matt, what do you got for your race winner?
And congrats on the sweep here tonight. JJ talked about you two being hooked up as a team for this season, and a duo that we haven't really seen directly work together before. But both of you had great nights here tonight. How excited are you to run with JJ here for a team championship?
I just thought it'd be a fun thing. He had reached out to me and we were chatting about some different vehicle dynamic stuff and all this kind of stuff, and he mentioned the league and asked if I want to be his teammate. I said sure, let's give it a shot. And so I'm it's cool that he decided to run my logo and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, I mean, at least after the first round, we're not in too bad shape. Hopefully, we can continue to have some good results and see how it goes. He's definitely gotten better and better over the time I've known him, and pull off. I think he got 2 second places tonight, so that's solid. That's what we need for the points, and we'll see how it goes. So.
I was gonna say first and second in both of the classes was swept by the same 2 drivers, which is very interesting. But yeah, great job here tonight. Bust down the broom. You got the sweep, first one of the season. Congrats. Shout outs for you.
Yeah, thanks to James and the gang over at Precision. I mean, at Team Watson Racing, and all the obviously great group of guys, and the setups and such that they have. They're top notch. So reach out to them if you're looking for it. Precision Racing Instruction, if you're looking for some driving instruction, some coaching, anything along those lines, whether it's in the real world or the sim, hit me up and we'll see what we can do to help you out. And thanks to you guys for broadcasting as always. Big thanks to the league. It's I think this is gonna be a fun season. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely, a lot of fun here tonight. Congrats on the wins. We'll hopefully talk to you next week at Phillip Island.
Sounds great.
Phillip Island is where the closest finish in Turn 200 history took place with the form of the Super Series last season. 2/10,000ths of a second, according to the data scrape. That got us a spot on the iRacing Top 10. In fact, the top spot in the iRacing Top 10. So it'll be cool to go back to Phillip Island for only the second time in series history. But I'm glad it's 7 days from now because, good God, what an usherance back into the series tonight was.
Yeah, I was talking to you and Corey about how it seems like it's been so long since this series has been here on Turn 200. It was kind of a long break to allow our other Wednesday League the Daredevil series to do its thing, and boy, did we have the series thrust back upon us here tonight. It was certainly something. I forgot just how wild multi-class racing can be, and I think this might be at its craziest with these 2 classes. It's going to be a must-watch series for the rest of the time here on Wednesday, so you're never going to want to miss it. And thank you to the folks that were in the chat with us. Nate Siefker getting us to re-download paints, and thankfully at least most of them came through, maybe all of them finally. Thanks to Don Golden for always being here, as well as Jeff Mathis and Joshua Rutherford. Thank you to you folks for chatting with us here tonight, and anybody else that was watching. We appreciate it. And next time, drop us a chat. We'd love to hear from you. But we have some playoff racing to do tomorrow.
Yes, we do. The Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. It is the round 2 cutoff race from the Milwaukee Mile, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Next Monday night, it's the Ghost Squadron from the Super Series back in action, this time on the streets of Detroit. It's the Belle Isle Circuit at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series playoffs, round number 4 of 5, will take place at Dover, and that is a very tight race between 3 drivers, including Hunter Engrav and Matt Schlosser from the ASRL camp. That will lead us into the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship rounds 3 and 4 from Phillip Island Circuit for only the second time on Turn 200. That'll be an exciting night of racing. Again, about 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday night. Thank you to everybody that supports the American Sim Racing League in their celebration of 25 years of sim racing excellence here on Turn 200. Thank you to thank you to Eminent Signs and Graphics. From channel letters to monument signs, they handle it all. Thank you for supporting the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Thank you to Team Watson Racing Setups as well. Thank you to everybody that supports us here on Turn 200. Thank you to everybody that's hit subscribe. Thank you to the admin team here with the Sports Car Championship, who will have a lot of damn work headed into Phillip Island next week. Thank you to the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson. That's all we got for you here tonight. Until we meet again from Road Atlanta, I am Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Christopher Hill and Dave Seats, who will sweep Road Atlanta in the season opener. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.